What's up, guys? It's Higgins in Japan here with another edition of the Friday video, episode number 40 to be exact. And today on the drive home, a couple of things have changed. Position of the camera, I cleaned the windshield off, yeah, so episode 40. Let's get into it. Today's topic is going to be what it's like to be a teacher in Japan, the real deal. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so like I said, this is going to be a truthful video about what it's really like to teach in Japan. Now, if you do a search on YouTube, which I don't suggest that you do, you're going to come across quite a bit of video, quite a bit of content of people complaining about what it's like to be a teacher in Japan. And so first, I do need to clarify something, and I wrote it down on this piece of paper to make sure that I remember to say it, because the last thing that I want to do in these videos about life in Japan is say something that's maybe untrue or misleading. And so if there's something that needs clarification, please ask me, because I don't want to mislead anybody about life in Japan. So the thing that I need to clarify is if you work for a dispatch company, if you work for JET, if you work for any other private type of teaching organization, and you are being somehow like abused, if your students are abusing you, if there's something along those lines, then by all means complain about that stuff. If your company's not paying you on time, if your company is somehow doing weird stuff, doing shady stuff, doing stuff that's illegal, or doing things like, complain about those things. Those things need to be complained about. What I'm talking about is when I see videos pop up on YouTube about the truth behind the ALT, let's look behind the curtain. A lot of times I see those videos, and a lot of times I don't watch them, but on the occasion that I do, I notice that a lot of them are people complaining about things that are in your everyday job description. I'll give you an example here. Saw somebody complaining online about having to sing songs to elementary age students. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but I have never won a Grammy. I've never won a Tony. I've never won any high prestigious award for singing. And guess what? I gotta sing sometimes in front of students. That's part of the job. So it's just part of the job. I don't know how better to say that. You have students in elementary school, and English songs are fun and they're easy, and they're usually set to like the happy birthday song. So how difficult is that? Do you think it's stupid? Do you think it's lame? Probably, and they probably are. Listen, you're a quote-unquote adult having to sing kid songs, but you know what? It's in your job description, and you do it. Another example, last year, I had to, I sat down with one of my teachers. We wrote a song that had to do with pizza toppings, and it was for a lesson that we were doing, and the phrase was, what would you like? So like, what would you like on your pizza? And she had the idea of, what if we set it to the Yokai Watch theme song? If you're not familiar with Yokai Watch, it's an animation over here that's similar to Pokemon. Very catchy song, and catchy to the point where it was annoying how much that song was stuck in my head. And not the actual song, but the dumb song that we made up. And you know what? I did it anyways. Why? Because it wasn't for me. And so we'll talk about that little key phrase in just a moment. Another example, say, like today, you left some of your flashcards that you were going to use for class at a different school. You have to make the decision, do I have time to drive back to that school to pick them up, or what are my other options? Well, my other option was not, I wasn't going to drive back to the other school. That was just a waste of time. So what did I decide to do? Well, I've not won any prestigious art awards, but you know what? I drew pictures on the board to represent what I wanted. And so the flashcards didn't exist, but there were pictures of them on the board that I drew. Another class, I had them draw the pictures, kind of like Pictionary style. So there's ways around stuff like that. And you know what? The kids thought my pictures looked goofy and they laughed, but none of them were offended because of my drawings. You know, does that make sense? None of them were like, oh gosh, he's got to draw pictures because he forgot his flashcards. None of those kids even knew that I forgot the flashcards. As far as they knew, it was all part of the plan. And so those are types of things that you'll come across as a teacher in Japan. And the key to all of that is you just got to be flexible. I've talked about this before, when like living in a foreign country, you've got to be flexible. You've got to be able to adapt to anything, because anything can happen at any time. It's a foreign country, you know, something's going to happen that you're going to go like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Especially as a teacher, certain things are going to happen. You're going to forget something for a lesson. You've got to be able to be flexible. And the problem, all of this boils down to like people complaining about having to do things that are in their job description. Like your job as an ALT, as an assistant language teacher, or an NLT, a native language teacher for like elementary school age kids, you have a goal for each lesson that you need to set for yourself that says, I'm going to teach, don't pull out in front of me, I'm going to teach this certain topic, or I'm going to teach this certain phrase or whatever. And everything else about the lesson, you need to focus your energy on your lesson and not focus the energy on, oh, how is this going to make me feel? Because I feel a lot of times that these videos of these people that complain about being teachers and complain about what it's like to be an ALT or an NLT, like, I'll tell you right now, being an English teacher in Japan is so easy. Like, don't tell anybody this because they might not pay me anymore. But I'm being real here. It's an easy job. You teach one subject. All of the teachers in your school have to be able to teach every subject. They have to take a test to be certified to be able to teach every subject. As an ALT or an NLT, you don't. You get hired by some dispatch company that throws you into a school, and all you have to do is sing a song and then complain about it. Like, I just don't get it. Because what that does, all your complaining does, is it distracts you from being a teacher, and it puts the focus of what you're trying to do on you. Like, the lessons are not for you. You already speak English, hopefully. The lessons that you're teaching are not supposed to be entertaining to you. They're supposed to be engaging and entertaining. Well, not so much I hate the word entertaining because it's not a game. Your lessons are supposed to be engaging to your students, not to you. They're not there to like man, did you like singing today? Man, that was awesome. Singing was so much fun. No. And the thing is, people complain about, oh, I don't want to sing. Singing's dumb. Who cares? Like, do it. Like, just do it. Like, it's part of your job is to engage the students in learning a language, and part of that is going to be done through songs or chants or activities. And just because something isn't living up to your standards, like, doesn't mean that it's not going to be engaging to the students. And so focus your energy. If you come to Japan and you want to be a teacher, focus your energy on making lessons that are going to be engaging to students. So anyways, the point I was trying to make is it's not about whether or not you went to school to be a teacher or anything like that. It's what is your reason for coming to Japan? And so a lot of times people come over here as an English teacher because it's super easy to get a job and be an English teacher for a year, and you can hang out and party in Japan and do all the stupid stuff that you want to do in Japan and like live your dream of what you think Japan is. But then in the process of all that, you completely neglect your students. You're a terrible teacher, and you don't care about your lessons, and you don't care about your job. And those of us that do, like, it makes us look bad, because then other teachers go, well, that last ALT, like, he made students cry and he yelled at students. He obviously didn't want to be here as a teacher. He was just here for his 1-year vacation. And so, like, don't be that person that, like, even if you are coming here to Japan just for 1 year because you want to just experience life in Japan and you have no intention of staying, that's fine. But don't pretend, or like, no, do pretend. Please, pretend that you care when you're in the classroom, because the next teacher that comes along after you is going to have to deal with those students. And that's the other thing. You might only have a certain group of students for a year and then they move on to the next grade. Like, they're in school for multiple years. After you go home and tell all your friends that you had a terrible time in Japan because it didn't live up to your standards, like, they're still in school being educated and trying to unlearn the things that you taught them. So don't be that person. Don't be the person that has to, you know, feel the need of Japan, like, you know, bending over backwards for you and complaining that you have to sing a song to some kids. Like whatever. It's part of your job. I don't know what else to say, guys. If you got any questions or comments for me, let me know. Comment section below. As always, head over to facebook.com/Higgins in Japan. I have a blog about this that should be up sometime in the next few days. So it might sound familiar, or I might have left out some stuff. I don't remember. But check that out. Links to all that stuff in the description below. Guys, have a good one. It's Friday. I'm going to go home. I'm exhausted. Like, I woke up this morning and just was not feeling it at all. And I just, yeah, I'm like dizzy and like weird. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna go home and relax. Guys, it's been real. Have a good one. Peace.